I kind of grew up in a cult and it was awesome. I know that sounds weird, but it was a very tight-knit community. There was about 80 families living in the same little neighborhood of duplexes, and we were all living there for at least 5 years. It took a while for people to leave and move out of that community. My family was there for, let me think, about 9 years in that same duplex. And at the same time as living in the same neighborhood as everyone else, we were attending the same church and going to the same activities and being a part of the same things. So it was a very much bubble-like community. And we all had these weird spiritual languages where, like, if you asked someone how they were doing, they would be like, "The Lord is good, and I have felt the Spirit today." Like, it was kind of wild and kind of unrelatable to the average everyday person. We were very much our own little world, and we loved each other. We helped each other. We supported each other. They were all homeschool families. Like I said, it's a bubble. The moms took walks around the neighborhood praying for people and talking and venting about their kids and working through homeschooling issues and marital issues. It was an incredibly supportive community, and I loved it as a child. I got to see my friends over for dinner a few nights a week. We would go to their house a couple nights a week. There was basically community with other people who cared about us and loved us that we saw like 4 or 5 days a week. That's incredible. I could ride my bike around the neighborhood and my mom didn't have to worry a bit because she knew that there were so many houses along the way of people that I knew. And it was just a beautiful time. Now, it was kind of like a cult. That church still exists in a different form. Essentially, this guy named Mike Bickle started this community and lived in my neighborhood and then began this prayer room. When he began the prayer room and left our church is also when I left that little community because my family moved to the country. So going from that tight-knit bubble to living on 6 acres and not going to a church that felt like that was so hard for me. Transitioning, I was 13, going through puberty and also feeling very, very alone on so many levels. So that was difficult. But now the years have gone by, I see how messed up that community really was. Problems were shoved under the rug and pretended like they didn't happen, including Mike Bickle's son having an affair with someone, and then Mike just saying he'll deal with it, and everyone just trusting him while nothing was actually dealt with. And now Mike being revealed as the slimy scumbag that he is, apparently. It's just crazy that through that leadership, still something good happened, which was learning how to live together in community and kindness with one another. Like, there were a lot of healthy communities, and there were a lot of kind and incredible people a part of the community and movement, and I think there still are. And so my hope is that we can take the good with us and leave the bad behind. I myself am only going to think fondly about my cult days. And honestly, I want to foster a healthy community now in my life where I would see people more often and be connected into each other's lives. I love that. And so I'm hoping to continue to replicate that in my adulthood, just not with one white guy leader at the top, no offense, but just like one leader at the top who's in charge of everything, that we just hang on his every word and believe whatever he says at face value, even when he doesn't make much sense. So yeah, that's my story.